All right. Question 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, it says, hello. First, I want to thank you both because you were two significant influences on my path to becoming an instructional designer. I'm currently working as an intern junior ID. I have been following Luke and William for some time now, following advice and content, and that has been fundamental for my trajectory. I've done EduFlow's ID principles, and right now I'm at the Designing Social Learning Experiences Cohort 5. I just want to take the opportunity of having you together to properly thank you for all of your great work, content, and attitude. And I was wondering if you have any advice for when the internship is over and I go back out there looking for opportunities. Again, can't thank you enough. Well, first and foremost, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's like the first thing I was gonna say as well. As like, thank you so much for that praise, and thank you so much for investing your time in EduFlow Academy and sharing kind of those journeys with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic to hear. And we know this person too, and they're a wonderful human being. So thank you once again for nerding out with us and being around with us for all of this time. Well, you took the first one. So do you want me to take this one?
Yes, go for
Let's
it.
keep going back and forth. Okay. So once again, so glad we've been able to help you out. And hopefully our next words of wisdom here will be able to help you out along your way. So first thing is first, right now, you've already done a humongous obstacle, which is securing an internship. There's so many people right now that are like, how do I actually do this? How do I get an internship? So the fact that you're a junior ID, this is already like a huge hard part is already done. So what I would advise for you to be able to do is to completely take advantage of everything that you have right now at your disposal. So I would connect with everyone within your organization right now before you actually go and leave the organization, because then it's a lot harder to go and to connect with these other people again. So go connect with them, be able to talk more about and listen to their wants, their needs, where they think things are going, because of course, any and all different types of opportunities that perhaps you can express your interest in working with them again in the future. Once this is going to be done and you're moving on to your next thing, just plant that seed right now and be able to build those relationships in real time. Because what I've really found is that you never know. You have no idea when your next opportunity is going to come about. And usually it's just one conversation with one person, and then that connects for you from leading with a friend or to another colleague. And then before you know it, you're going into another interview for a whole new different type of instructional design job. It is entirely possible really to be able to do. So I would at least kind of just like digest the fact that you've done a lot of a hard part first. And now we can go into this next type of step with that one. And when I do say connect with people, I do mean not just having like the coffee chats. And I don't know if this is in person or virtual. They didn't say. Of course, you can do this in a variety of ways. But make sure that you do get their contact information, emails, phone numbers, LinkedIn profiles, whatever way that is comfortable for them. Make sure that you are getting this, and then that you are following up with them later on. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, nothing is going to happen. You go, you do all the things I just said. Nothing really is popping out for an area of opportunity. Okay, no problem. Well, then a month from now, reach out to all those same people again, just saying, thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with you. I really hope in the future that once again, we can actually do another different type of opportunity. Looking forward to hearing from you if there is something. Thank you so much, kind of a thing. So you're constantly trying to be able to dig the well before you're thirsty, which is a kind of type of a common phrase within this type of
I like that expression.
Right? Because when you're actually thirsty and you're like, oh my God, I need water. And everyone's just like, nah, I'm not going to help you. I don't know who you are, kind of a thing. Whereas when people actually do know who you are, they are far more willing to go above and beyond for you because you have that relationship and that connection already in place. So that by far is absolutely huge. Also, after all that is said and done, I would write down everything that you've done so far, every accomplishment, every skill, every training, anything that you've done for the organization. Put all of that down and think about that, because that is then going to become your notes as far as reviewing them before your next opportunity, before your next interview, so that way you have that in place. And of course, if you can add that into your portfolio, your LinkedIn profile, if you can put in any of those things as well, and making sure that is going to be highlighted front and center about all the instructional design skills you just learned about, that is then going to be transferable to the next instructional design job. So once again, my friend, you've already done a ton of the hard work. Now it's just kind of putting it together and following through with things. That's my advice. William, what do you think about that?
I don't think I can top that. But I can add that maybe even going back to the previous question, take some time to think about what you really enjoyed doing. If you really enjoyed like the analysis and design stuff, maybe you want to specialize in that, and then start looking for jobs where you can focus and do stuff you love. I think the nice thing about an internship is often you have an opportunity to play around in a bunch of different kind of areas of an organization or areas in the team, and they often have sub-specializations or like mini specializations. And if you enjoyed a very specific thing, you might want to expand that and pursue that a bit more seriously. The other thing, I'm probably going to repeat what you said already, but think about where you provided value and how you can keep track of that, so that you can add that to your resume. And then the other like little trick might be to ask your colleagues or the people who maybe were your managers during the internship to write your little testimonial about the experience in the job, and then also ask them how they are keeping in touch with the industry. So especially if you're in a region, you might find that there are like regional communities or associations. So the ATD has chapters in specific areas, for example. So maybe they can introduce you to a chapter or introduce you to a Facebook group in your area that you might not have found otherwise. So kind of like really, again, as Luke said, like dig that well before you're thirsty, and try to use those last few months/weeks that you have left in your internship to really get yourself ready for the next step.
And I like that you said too about basically like letters of recommendation, references, because of course, once again, you can take all of that, you can put that into your LinkedIn profile. You can have that for when you apply to next jobs, so that way too, when you do apply and someone does say, who can we contact to learn more about your ID chops? You can then say, hey, this person. The other thing, William, which you just reminded me of too, is that if you did find that one area of an instructional design was really interesting to you, and let's say that there's one person within the organization where that is their heart and their joy, that's like they always do that one thing, well then interview that person and ask them about advice and next steps. What would you do if you were me? If you just finished a 6-month internship and you're thinking about the next opportunity, and I loved being able to do building inside of a learning management system. That to me was like super thrilling. I loved it. It was, it really gave me a sense of joy and a sense of purpose here. So if I want to go down the same path as you, what advice would you say for me to be able to go and to take those next steps? Does not hurt to ask for advice from anything. And I would do that, and I have done that too with everybody. Even if it wasn't the most interesting thing in the world to me, I still was just like, I want to keep my options open, and I want to know, how did you get to where you are today? Because sometimes you'll get just, even if all of the advice, let's say that only like 10% of it was actually super helpful for you, that's still 10%. And every time you have another conversation, you add in more of that percentage into overall. And finally, you're going to have all these amazing talking points to say, all right, I got it. I should follow through with this and this and this. And I should buy this book. And as William was saying, I should go and connect with this community, this chapter. I should go and network with so-and-so on LinkedIn, whatever it is. And all of those things, once you stack them all together, you'll be in a really, really good place. Overall, I think our friend here is actually in a great spot. They just need to do the next step. But you're not, I would not consider an internship ending to be by any means like oh my God, end all be all moment. I think you're in a great spot. You just gotta go through with the next step.
Yeah. I think getting your foot in the door is probably one of the hardest parts, especially if you're transitioning. So kudos for
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, say hats off to this person, because their hard work shows. You've taken every course that we've basically offered. You're going to all these different events and workshops. Like, you're doing all the right things, if that makes you feel any better along your instructional design journey. So let's keep on going. I really think that you're going to be getting an instructional design job, honestly, not that far from now.